Okay, hope you can see my screen. So in the first class, we have covered the total introductory one on what is data and what are the different representation of data. Okay, so now we picked up only RDBMS, that is Relational Database Management System. And on top of that, we will be learning more things. And from tomorrow onwards, we'll be learning SQL and all. So how to handle the data, I mean the relational data, rather we can say. But one more important concept I just want to, show you today. So suppose, we are collecting some information or collecting inputs from user. Okay. And we can keep those information in single table or separate table. Just like yesterday, I have shown you an example for relational database. There are product table was there, order table was there, customer table was there. There are separate table was there based on some concept. Okay, based on some field as well. But what is the, we can merge entire stuffs in a single table. We can split the thing in different table as well. So what is the concept? What is the advantages? What is the pros and cons of this? So if we have everything in a single table, then the data, we cannot say it's a normalized one. This kind of, when the data is getting stored at the first time, suppose I have transaction, I have a transaction in an outlet. So all the data they are saving in a single table. Okay, which day, which thing, which particular order ID, which is the invoice ID, what particular products I have bought. So everything, what is the transaction, what is discount, is there any particular sales representative that convinced me to buy the product. So this kind of thing we are maintaining in a single row, in a single table. But while storing the same database, in the data, in the database system, there is a database. We are storing the information in tabular format, and the tables are resides in database. Okay, just like database can be, saved in a server. Server means in our computer. In my laptop itself, I have one database. I'll be showing you today that thing. This kind of database we can create in any server, and we can store the data in tabular format for RDBMS. So while storing the data, if the data is, all the informations are kept in a single table and it's not maintaining the proper way of, uniquely decorating the data and all, the data is called, it's not normalization. It's not normalized in nature. Okay. So we need to we need to bring it to normalized one. The table should be normalized in nature when saving it to database management system or database server, because it will be taking less space in the database server. When we will be doing select query, then based on, when there will be various tables, we have to set up some join to fetch data from one table to another table. So which table is required for which information, we can quickly do a select query. Query is one kind of SQL language just to view the data. That's it. So whoever do not know what is SQL, we will be learning SQL gradually from tomorrow onwards. Just like you can think SQL means to view the data from a database. Okay. So when we will be doing the query part and the data is normalized in nature, then it should be much more faster to retrieve the data. Okay. So how to prepare from a denormalized table to normalized table? I'll be giving an example, and that thing should be much more easier. Let me check the first slide. Yeah, you can see this thing. Why normalize is required? Okay, the Excel part I'll be showing after this. Data normalization is the process of recognizing the data within a database so that users can utilize it for further queries and analysis. So by data normalization, the duplication of record entry can be removed, results in a smaller database size. I mean, one of the main condition is duplication can be omitted quickly. Minimize or avoiding issues with data modification. If we want to modify any data, I mean, we can quickly do that stuff without having any issue or minimal issue. It makes the query easier. So query means the SQL query to traverse the data from database. So that query should be much more easier if the data is normalized in nature. Now, what is data normalization and what is data? What is denormalized data and what is normalized data? Let's see that. First of all, I found some of new persons has joined. So, hi everyone. We just started. This is the second class for today. Is there any? I just started for normalization process of data. If there is any stuck point, whatever I just told currently, please tell me. Any issue or any stuck point, then please, stop me and you can ask me question. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to the example. While seeing the example, that thing should be very much easier. So first of all, we need to know what is primary key and foreign key. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, primary keys concept I have given you yesterday session. Yeah, that Excel I need to open over here. Okay. So now concentrate on this table. Okay, here is a table. The table I have pasted in Excel, but it should be in database, obviously. It's a student table. Student table is having information student ID, student name, course ID, course fee. Okay. The table is having denormalized data. It's not normalization in nature. We need to convert it into normalized one. So to maintain that, we need to go ahead with particular rules. What are those rules? I'll be just going through one by one from this slide. Okay. Okay. So from denormalized table, we need to convert it into first normal form. What is this? Okay. So these are the two rules actually. Each cell should contain only a single value data. Okay. Each cell should be containing single value data. It should not be containing multiple value data. And in the particular table, each record should be unique in nature. Okay, these are the two conditions we need to meet. If we just obey these two rules, then our table should be in first normal form. It's one kind of normalized table. Not normalized table, half normalized we can tell. First normal form is not totally satisfies the rules to make a table from denormalized data to having normalized data. So I'm just going to the Excel once more time. Okay. So from this Excel, we can see the course IDs. In the course ID, we can see there are multiple data. This course ID is fine. In this course ID, we can see multiple records are there. A1 to A13. Because that particular student is learning two different courses from a coaching institution. Okay. And that particular student is paying 800 and 300 for respective courses. For A1 to, he or she is paying 800, and for A13, he or she is paying 300 to this coaching institution. Okay. So similar kind of stuffs is this. This is single, this is single. Again, this is multiple. So first of all, two different things we can see over here. Here is a duplication as well. So first of all, what we can do, we can eliminate this duplicate record as the first normal forms criteria. Okay, we need to eliminate. You can see the row is totally identical. We need to check in that particular table. So the same thing happens for the business as well. Maybe something would have happened that the particular data has been repeated in the source database. So what needs to be done that time? First thing should be we need to delete the extra record. So I'm deleting it. It's deleted. We have only 4 records. Now we have 2 elements in a single cell or 2 data we can say. So we need to split the second one in a new row, just like this one. Over here is the first normal from table of this table. So you can see the first record has been directly inserted over here. The second record it's going to be inserted with A12 and 800. The first element has been picked up over here. Okay. Now the second element of A13 and 300, it's been mentioned over here in this manner. A12, student ID is 12, that is 12. Sonu, that for this second element, we have inserted a new row. Okay, it's not duplicated. The thing is different over here. But student name is duplicated because that particular student is learning multiple subjects, paying multiple course fees. The similar kind of things happens for this row. Student ID 13, Raj. Raj is learning 2 different courses from a coaching institution. Okay. And Peter, there should be a direct move. So after conversion of the denormalized table to first normal form, this should be the architecture. Okay. It's called table with first normal from NF. First NF. Let me just. Okay. Now we just have to check what is second normal form. If our table is second normal form, then we can say our table is normalized in nature. There is other normal forms as well that should be in advanced level. Till now we can learn and we have to check whether our table is normalized in nature or it's in second normal form only. So what is second normal form? Moving to the next slide. Okay, the first condition should be it should be always first normal form. Okay, in that particular table, what is in first normal form, we need to determine the primary key of the table. Primary key means that should be unique in nature. Okay, that can be a row identifier of that particular table. Okay, so based on this primary key, we need to check the other columns, whether the other columns are fully dependent on the primary key or if there is any partial dependency. If any other column is having some partial dependency, it's not fully dependent on this particular row identifier, then we need to split the table. How that can be possible? Let me show you. Okay. So over here, now we have first normal form. So till this table, we can see student ID, the ID is the primary key. But as we have segregated the student ID, because we have same student ID learning multiple courses. So it's not a only the student ID is the primary, it's not the primary key. Rather, we can say the combination of student ID and course ID. Just like 11 and A11. A student should be learning only one course. That's why the combination of student ID and course ID should be a primary key for that table. That should be unique in nature. Okay. So the combination of student ID and course ID, you can see it's unique in nature. So we can say it's a composite key. This composite key is the primary key for that table. Now we have to check on top of, based on these two combination of these two key, if in the student table any particular table is having any partial dependency. So student name should be there obviously based on student ID. The particular student is learning the courses and all. Course ID is also fine, but the course fee is not directly dependent on the student ID. Rather, it should be only dependent on the course ID. Okay. So we can split up the course fee. It's in second normal form. Now we can see I have splitted up this result course fee into next table. If we split it up, it should be looking like in this manner. Now it's in second normal form. I just splitted it up the fourth column. The first table should be having only this column and the second table should be having this. But over here we can see the duplicates. A11 500, A12 800, A13 300, A11 again 500 because multiple students they are learning multiple subjects. I mean the same subjects as well, paying the same course fee. That's why. So we need to remove the duplicates as well as for the first normal form. So it should be unique in nature. The course ID along with the course fee. What particular course should be having? What particular fees? So the course fee cannot be dependent on the student ID. Okay. Course fee should be always dependent on the course ID. So in the second normal form, we will be only maintaining. Okay, just give me 1 second. Okay, so we'll be just maintaining this table as well as this table. The tables are splitted. So whenever we require what particular value Sonu had to pay for this coaching institution, we need to join between this table and this table and fetch the information for Sonu. Sonu is having course ID A1 to A13, so we have to join between these two tables to fetch A12 and A13's data 800, 300. After that, we need to perform an aggregation function because Sonu is present twice. So it just the aggregation function should be a summation of these two, that is 800 plus 300. It should be 1100. So Sonu has to pay 1100 to the coaching institution. So this is the thing. We are normalizing the thing. It's in second normal form. The combination of these two tables, we can say it's a second normal form of this denormalized table. Okay. The entire process is understandable or not. If there is any doubt or any stuck point, please ask me because this is very much important. The normalization one. When we will be learning the data, business intelligence and all, we need to keep the data in fact and dimension manner, but everything should be in normalized in nature. That's why we are not storing all the information in a single table. Rather, we are storing data. There should be a main fact table. What is fact table? I'll be coming this later. There should be a main table. As of now, you can think of that. There should be a main table which will be consisting some columns having value and some columns having only keys. That should be foreign keys. Okay, that foreign key should be helping to join with another table which should be the primary key of another table. Okay, so we need to identify the scenarios, how to make a particular table a normalized one, and we have to normalize it so that in future we can traverse the data by joining between multiple tables. How to join, and what are the different criteria of join, that thing we will be learning in SQL. But the joining means, I have told you, when we will be joining between these two tables, we should be having a common column over here. The common column name is course ID. So based on course ID, we can join these two tables and fetch the information of course fee for each of the student. This is the concept. Any stuck
And one
point?
more thing. I'm adding one more point, Sadiq. So
Yeah.
here is team. When you're giving the DB access, they won't tell that primary key and foreign key relationship. Based on our requirement, we need to spend our time to analyze our tables. Then we can know that what are the primary key and foreign key. We should know about it. So don't ask the teammates what is the primary key, what is the foreign keys and other stuffs. So we have to analyze ourselves.
Yeah, sometimes actually it depends on the victim as well. As a developer, if there is any architect or anyone, uh, maybe definitely architect can be in our team, maybe from clients teams as well. So based
Because
on the
we are making that minimum 7 years experience, right? So we should not ask this kind of stuff because everything DB having that DB architecture of respect to projects, hopefully. So otherwise, we have to analyze ourselves. That's it.
okay. So, but I mean, yeah, I can agree with you. But sometimes happens, if I mean, I'm also, I mean, just this kind of experience as well. Sometimes we have to also, I mean, ask about the thing from the architect as well, because they have architect the data modeling and all. So, what particular keys should be the primary one? What should be the foreign keys as well? Sometimes we need to ask because they are the data modeler. I mean, they have designed the entire data modeling stuffs and all. So that is the thing. So we have to determine the thing, that is fine. Uh, but from the project requirement as well, we need to reach out sometimes. But it's totally, if some small table for this example, it's very simple. We can definitely do that. There'll be no issue. Okay. But yeah, any doubt from anyone till now? Nothing? Okay. Moving to the next slide. Okay. So this particular concept we have already uh, covered actually. In SQL, in the database, we can see the concept of primary keys. We check the primary keys. What is primary keys? Yesterday in yesterday's session we have already checked it, but just to refresh the thing once more time. The primary key should be the column that should be uniquely identifying that particular table. So that I told you earlier, primary key should be the unique one, and it should be the row identifier. Just like in a student table, student ID should be the primary key. If the student ID is the unique one for the table. If the student ID is not unique, because I mean the example that we have seen over there, student ID and course ID combination can be a unique one. Then we are creating a composite key, that is called composite key. The composite key can be a primary key, there will be no issue, but it should be a composite key. Okay, so primary key, I mean, this is not exactly different. Composite key can be a primary key, there will be no issue. But composite key means a set of columns which will be uniquely identify a particular row in a table. Okay. And what is foreign key? Foreign key, I just told you. Suppose we have a particular, I mean, foreign key can be a primary key for a particular table. But to set up relationship, that particular primary key needs to pull up into the main table that showed you yesterday. So the same column can be primary key from one table for one table, and the same key can be the foreign key for the main table. So based on foreign key, we can join between two sets of table and set up relationship. Okay. So I mean
I'm
those
adding one
kind of key concept. Yeah, tell
I'm
me.
more point. So here is, people, when you're creating this foreign keys and primary keys, you can treat as a parent and the child relationship. So your parent in your house, family, your mother and father is a primary table, and respect to your names, everything is going to the child tables. So in your kids, and your information stored in the foreign key tables, child table. We can call as a child table. So your son or daughter, so it is representing to the main table as your parents.
Correct. Yeah. So the primary key, composite key, foreign key, those can be required when we'll be learning the data modelings as well as the fact dimension stuff. So just I'll be telling whether if there is any concept issue from anyone, what is primary key, composite key, and foreign key from anyone. Okay, I hope no. Now I'll be directly jumping into the database. So I'll be requesting you for all of, I mean, just for quick hands-on perspective, you can install one of the database. I'll be recommending over here for MySQL database because in the previous sessions as well, we have gone through with MySQL database only. So just like I have installed MySQL database at my system, and I can work on top of MySQL by this UI. I have MySQL Workbench. Let me open that one. Then that should be easily understandable. How to install it and what should be the link I'll be providing you in the chat. So this is my
Instead of that, in MySQL, can you go through this SSMS, bro? Because in almost data warehousing project, they are going to the use SSMS only instead of the MySQL workbench.
mm, as per the existing project setup, I have installed this one. I need to
Okay.
install then another software. That's the
Okay.
thing. Yeah, definitely. After completion of that stuffs, we can take some extra classes installing SSMS SQL
Yeah.
Server. That is a Microsoft product. So we can install that particular software. I mean database as well, and have a quick through. I mean on top of that, we have various database. Actually, just for everyone, we have various database. I was just going to mention the same thing. So each of the project, the architect will determine which kind of database we need to take for which purpose. Okay. So maybe we have MySQL, we have Oracle in market, Microsoft SQL Server. Just you are telling SSMS. I mean, Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio is a software to access Microsoft SQL Server database. Teradata, Postgres, Sysbase, DB2, Redshift, lots of new databases are available, but
One more
the
thing, can
main
add it
purpose are
Snowflake.
same.
Snowflake is the most updated database. You can add it in our slide.
Yeah. Snowflake database is there. It's based on cloud. I mean, we are the data is also been stored as a distributed in nature and all. So uh, we have this kind of databases available. In over here in courses, I have tried MySQL for the demonstration perspective to learn SQL and all. But the basic feature or basic concept of SQL can be same for all the particular databases. Some syntactical changes is there, especially the inbuilt functions and all for each of the database. But if we learn for one database, the SQL queries and all, our concept should be clear. Okay. Now, okay, I'll be also going through as per your choice. Actually, I'm just interacting with you first time. Okay, he or she has been dropped. So I'll be also installing, if you need, I can install this Microsoft SQL Server. And I'll be also going through on that one so that you have some concepts on top of that. Microsoft SQL Server. Okay, so but I'll be starting all the SQL part on top of MySQL database. And okay, let me give you the link where to install it. It was there in my, okay. I have pasted the same over here. So it's a open source free cost software. So you can download this big file. Okay. Download it at your system and try to configure it. It should be step-by-step installation process. Okay. After step-by-step installation, you need to configure the user ID and password as well. So user ID by default should be root. Okay. So after installation of this is a software. This is a UI as well. This MySQL can be accessible by different softwares. The database has been installed. Now you need to retrieve the data by putting SQL query. So MySQL Workbench is an important UI, user interface, to see that thing. So everything should be coming into this package itself. So when you'll be installing it, it will be asking for one password, that is for database authentication. Okay. So just try to click on top of that and give the password. The password should be, you need to put it while configuring it, while installing the same. Okay. So when we are ready, I mean, our software, I mean, has been installed properly, as well as MySQL Workbench will be installed properly. We can see in this kind of window over here. Okay. In the left hand side, it's a panel to check the what are the different databases available. There should be some default databases available inside the package. So we can see this kind of databases are already available. I have created this new databases for our training purpose. Okay, data training. So over there we can found this kind of tables. Okay. So we have created those tables. The table, how the tables look like, we can check the table data. How to do that? Simple select query. It's a query language. I have told you yesterday. SQL. Okay. So we can see it at our site. So those are the different rows are being inserted inside that particular tables. Everything will be learning from tomorrow onwards. What is SQL? How to create a table? Inside the table, how to create the column. Okay, different column with having different data types and how to insert the records. Okay, so we'll be learning this thing gradually, one by one, from yesterday onwards. I mean, tomorrow onwards, based on SQL query. Okay, but how the database should be looking like in this manner? In the left hand side, it's a database panel. This thing can be controlled by database administrator to give someone extra access, to give, I mean, take some backup, server status and all. But as per the database engineers, we especially have to we should have to be focusing on top of the database itself. I mean, the data on top of data, not the administration part. For some administration part, I'll be giving you some extra help on top of how to revoke access, how to grant access. It's kind of a different topic, but it's for the database administrator. We will be just concentrating on this tab. I mean, over here, we are storing the data. It can be in view format, just like this. It can be in tables. It can be views. Those are different database components. Tables is the most important steps, and it's a unique thing. Then we have views. Views should be what is view and everything. I'll be coming. We have separate course materials over there in after 2 or 3 days. There is store procedures, there are functions and all. But the database looks like in this manner, where we are storing various tables. Okay. When we will be expanding tables, we will be checking those are the various tables available. Okay. So database we are storing it. Yeah, and the databases that I told, there are various databases available in the market. Whatever we have to choose and all our architect or the product owner, they will determine it. Snowflake is obviously a new one. Not only Snowflake, there's lots of things are available as well, and daily basis, not daily basis. I mean, we can see in a year that new database is going to be launched. So maybe, I mean, based on the price, the particular licensing part and all, and the advantages, the storage space cost and all. So the architect need to, the product owner need to choose which database we need to choose for storing the data. Okay. Okay, database schemas I just showed you. Database schemas, those are database schema. Over here, those are different database schema. Ronnie test is a database schema. Shakila, SIS, data training, world. Based on different subject areas, tables, will be creating these schemas. So suppose I am doing a, banking related support project or development project. Over there, we are storing the credit related tables inside credit schema, and the debit related information should be there in debit schema. Okay. Yeah, there are different database object. Table is the basic thing. It's a basic unit of storage composed of rows and columns that we know. View it, based on various tables, we can create logics and put the logic inside the view. What is view? Why we use view? That will be learning things generally. Besides table, we have this multiple components as well. Database objects. We can also use these things, but those are a bit advanced. We'll be learning the things after finishing the general SQL queries and all. Okay. So there are index, synonyms, store procedures are there. I haven't mentioned it. So those are the new things. Yeah, that's all for today's session. So try to install the particular software. Just I mentioned over here. Download it and install it. One time they will be asking the password. The password you just have to remember each time when you will be logging in. Then particular pass they will be asking the password. Okay. So any doubt from anyone till now?
Nambi, like I have already installed SQL in my laptop, but I forgot the root password. So, is there any way that we can retrieve the password back?
Okay. It's MySQL DB or what is the
Yeah, my
database? Okay,
SQL
I'll be checking
Workbench.
with that. Just is there any other doubts from anyone? You can show. Otherwise, Pratusha will be checking with you. That.
Okay.
I just need your help in downloading this for MySQL, Nandi.
Okay. So just go through the link and
Yeah,
download
I have
this one.
already did that. I started doing it.
Okay. Let me stop the
Afterwards,
recording. Otherwise, the recording would be a big one.
do you want me to share my screen or else?
Yeah. Any other doubt from anyone? Otherwise, I'll be